It's been a while.
It's been a while. We're back. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? It's Key and D.
Let's start with we are now
Live
with Key and D.
Right.
So
Right.
that was one thing that we have had to do,
Yeah.
or that we did.
Yeah, we didn't have to, but we chose to.
We chose to.
Yeah. Kind of excited about that. In a way.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been a process. It's this year, and it's been almost 2 years.
Right.
I didn't realize that it's been almost 2 years.
But the crazy part to me is we haven't. We have not been in the same. What in the name? That's not gonna work. We're
Turn up all the way up.
Yeah. We're not in the same household anymore.
I know. That's weird.
We are no longer two households in one house.
Right. We are now. But I mean, now we're back around the corner from each other. So.
Right. That's so that makes it even better, because it's like, shoot, we can all walk around naked and be free.
Yes.
And still, enjoy spending time.
Yeah. Like I enjoy our weekend morning coffees.
Girl, yes.
I'm watching series. Which series are we watching now? I forgot.
We have a couple. I'll have to go down and look at the actual.
Yeah, because I was trying to figure it out yesterday. I was like, are we supposed
Girl, you should have hit me, and I would have gone in the living room and like, oh, we're on this one right here. And you'd be like, yeah, that's right.
Girl, I was sitting up there going, I got sent to bed. So I was just sitting there like, I'm gonna turn on the TV or something, because I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, your Mr. and the baby are on you like white on rice.
Yes.
And so, I'm the place of refuge now. It's like,
absolutely, because I love us to the death.
Yeah,
they do not play.
Not when it comes to you.
No,
not when it comes to you. So, let's talk about
past 2 years.
Yeah, it's like I'm still stuck on the fact that it's been
2 years.
2 years,
yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of hard to believe it's been 2 years. Time really does fly.
Yeah. Well, I won't say it's been a full 2 years, because it was a year in the one place that I was at, and then so it's been like about a year and a half. I take that back. It's been about a year and a half, but it's still quite a bit of time.
Yeah.
So, but during that time, had a lot to go on.
Yeah, we have.
I had some health scares.
Yes.
But I'm okay now.
Yes. Yes, and then she's got the she's got the resident doctor right around the corner now. So
absolutely,
the one that knows and understands all the health history.
Yeah.
Same here, though.
Yeah.
Same here.
Absolutely.
It's like it feels,
absolutely.
And I think that makes Gary feel real good, because he knows that my history.
Absolutely.
So if he's at work and something happens, he knows
I'm right
you're 2 steps away.
Truly. It's like what, 20, 25 paces?
Something like that.
It's like, it's that far.
It was ordained. It was ordained. For real, it was truly ordained. Because when we think about it and we look at it for what it really, really is, it's like the timing of everything happening the way that it happened.
It's in.
And over the course of the last year and a half, the one thing that I will say that has transpired that I will say has not always felt good was that the hearts of people were revealed.
Baby.
And, it's disheartening sometimes when the hearts of the people that you would lay your life down for show you that it's not reciprocal.
Right. And they show you who they truly are. I think that, we have these life lessons that, we learn over the course of time. And every now and then you have to learn the lesson more than once.
Yep.
So.
And this time, trust me, we are not trying to learn any more lessons.
No.
Annette says, "Hey, cutie."
Hey, Annette. But yeah, so it's just been one thing after another. But I absolutely love that. We bought it back together.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that. That's it. I will say, some wonderful things that have come through all of this. I got my mister.
You got your mister. You got your mister.
So we don't post
and he came under the radar just like I told you he would.
Lord.
He came under the radar. I told you, girl, you talking something. I was like, be careful, because somebody gonna slide in right under the radar, just like my little fathead husband. So hey.
And I will say that he has been an absolute blessing.
Yes.
To my family, to me, to my daughter. Yeah. Yes. Because I'm gonna tell you that man has been truly. So we talk about, one of the things that we say to each other is that the ancestors knew. Because both of us was just like, I ain't trying to be bothered. I'm just not trying to be bothered. This is not. And so for it to flow, and not that we haven't had our challenges,
of course,
but they have been challenges, not challenges with us against each other, but challenges with us, standing together, which, I can't really say too much of having had that in my life.
Right.
So it continues to astound me. And he cook, y'all. He cook. Y'all see me? He cook. He's become an amazing bartender as well, because he when I say that he has been an absolute guy, especially with all the health issues and stuff that have gone on during this time that we've been apart, and he's never faltered. He's never left my side. He's never faltered. He's been amazing with baby girl.
Yeah, because that was what I was expecting to be like. But see,
I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I was just like, Lord. Because little mama, she is no joke.
Right.
Like, I made a post earlier today. It said, what did it say? Something about get rude with my mama and find out, I will forget my manners. That joker does not play at all. And Like I remember the first time he came to the house, she was just like, "Mom, there is some humongous black man at the door," and took off in the opposite direction. I was very concerned.
And did not come around for, she would be there observing, but she was not very interactive.
And then she went to school.
Mm-hmm.
And so then a series of things happened. Then she came home for Christmas break. And no, we went together. He and I both, we went to go get her for Christmas break. And got to the house, and I think we had Christmas dinner or whatever, and we were sitting there, and she had come in from God knows where, and they had a pillow fight.
And the rest is history.
They had a pillow fight. Like I think
she for really, real pillow fight.
Yeah, y'all. Like she they were laughing. She was not playing. They had a pillow fight, but it's that I think that really kind of cemented, their relationship. But then also him being there for me. And her being there for her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Being there for her. She, she didn't grow up with her father in the home. And just to see the difference in her. Mm-hmm. The difference in how she thinks about things. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, she'll come to me about anything. But now she'll go to him too.
And that's monumental.
That is. Because it's just been she and I for so long. Even as far as like just asking for help with something. That's never been
her thing.
That's never been her thing. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do it myself. But just to...
So yeah, I used to want to drop kick her when she would do that. I did. I was like, and I would tell her, we would tell her, like, but it's all good.
It is.
So, and that kind of just wraps around to, what we were saying we were kind of going to hit at, which was life choices.
Yes.
Yes. It's amazing how the past prepares us for the present. If we let it. And, I always say care, but don't be consumed. And when things happen, I've got this little, it may not feel good, but it's for the good.
It's for the good.
And a lot of times we don't understand what's going on, why certain things are transpiring, why certain things are happening the way they're happening. But if we're just diligent and we just stay on course and continue to pray and continue to just say, okay, God, if you don't deal with it, I'm going to end up in jail.
Whole lot of that.
Then when he handles it, it's handled.
Mm-hmm.
Things are at peace. Things are as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, that's why that happened.
I think so. Because I was living in trauma or living with my trauma and not necessarily processing and doing the work to heal. I made a lot of choices when it came to my daughter. Insofar as, and in my brain, it was always, I'm protecting her. And I was protecting her, but I was protecting her from things that really didn't exist in her world at that time.
You were keeping her from experiencing.
Yes, the things that I went through.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, yes, I protected my daughter, but I also, the impact of who she is now, because there are certain things that she won't do and that she will ask my opinion on things. And, we do that, with our parents or whatever.
Mhm.
Our parents, our loved ones. And, we'll ask them, okay, well, what do you think? And, this and that and the other. Or she'll be like, well, Mom, I'm going to do so and so and such and such. I have no filter on my face. I still don't. But I have to be very mindful. Because if I pull a face, or if for whatever reason, she translates it as something I'm not happy about, she won't do it.
And you could just be being reflective or thinking through what she's actually said.
Yeah, because I work in accounting.
She is a legal adult now.
She's about to be 22, not just 21, 22. But yeah, so like she wanted to go take a road trip, and my brain flashed back to all the times my mother talking about, oh, you don't need to be on the road as a single woman, single woman with a child, and all this stuff. And though I love my parents, I always said that I was going to be different in how I raised my daughter, and how I raised my own children. And so when she said that, I was like, baby, go. She's like, well, Mom, you didn't look like you really wanted me to, so I'm not going to go. Girl, if you don't get your ass out of this house.
Yeah.
And somebody else, who was really just like, well, I don't think that was the right move. You didn't give birth to her.
Okay, I just felt a migraine hit.
Don't do that. But on top of that, she grown.
Fully.
She grown.
But the one thing I will say that I've told you this before, you taught her how to protect herself.
Yes.
In the event a situation does arise.
Yes.
So that in itself puts her light years ahead of so many, because people talk about, because heck, when I was single, it was one of those deals. If I wanted to go somewhere, I wanted to do something, I was gone. There was no contemplation. Like when I decided I was going to come home, see my mom, my dad, or whatever, when I lived, out of state and they were still in Mississippi or whatever, it was like, I'm out. If I decided I wanted to go to a different state to see someone or just to go hang out, chunking deuces. And it's called a telephone if something arises.
Mm-hmm.
It's called roadside assistance if something arises.
Now, I'm not going to lie. She has to keep her Life 360 on, because I need to be able to see. And because somebody else, I be watching them on Life 360 and they be flying down the road. I ain't going to call no names.
Who that might be.
I ain't gonna call no names. Be flying down the road. It'd be like, now look, I just looked at this thing an hour ago and you were 2 states away. What are you doing? But yeah, just so she keeps her Life 360 on. And also, like I said, so if anything ever happens, at least we have a starting point.
Right.
But I don't, and it her, the thing about it is, like right now I tell her, you need to keep it on. Then he gave her mace with red dye in it. So if you get, but so she goes, so do I put the mace? Because she has a little mini baseball bat that's in, and she has a metal baton. And she goes, so do I spray it on the bat first and then beat him, or do I spray him and then beat him? It's just like, you're supposed to spray them and then get away. She was like, well, I'm gonna get away, but I'm gonna get a few licks in first. I'm just like,
because they shouldn't have come for me.
That's exactly that is her to a T. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna give me a few licks in first, though. Then I'm gonna. I'm like, Jesus.
Mhm.
It's my child.
That is definitely
That is my
your
child.
baby.
That is my child.
That is definitely, well, you know, career wise, there have been several changes.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
Let's talk about you.
me no longer having a life, like for real, 7 days a week,
That's why I come over and have coffee.
like for real,
I
7 days a week. Yes, 7 days a week, and then, but you know, I wouldn't trade it. That there are very frustrating days. Some days, like today, my embroidery machine on one particular job decided it wanted to be ignorant on one job. Something that should have taken all of 5 minutes took about an hour and a half. But that's how good.
Yeah.
And then it took that job off, and it ran like clockwork. But it was just that one job that it was just like, okay, you decided to drink water instead of coffee today, so I'm gonna show you.
Honey, we don't do that.
And it was that day of challenging
I can't do that.
me.
I
Yeah,
have learned. I can't do that.
yeah. But go ahead.
No, I was just saying that you went in there and you completely turned that place around though.
Yeah,
You went in there, it just kicked the door down and just completely turned it around.
yeah, yeah. And that's not the half. Things have picked up to the point now that it's just like right now I have um well, the guy that handles the screen printer, I left him doing a job like with 550 safety vests for a company. But at the same time, we've got about 17 cases of hoodies um, that are going to be 4 locations that are going to be, that need to be done. Plus, I've got a couple orders for a couple schools that came in yesterday. So it's like, the word, the word is really starting to get out, and people are. It's kind of like it was when I was at Beauty Mark. Call D.
Absolutely. And I'll tell somebody in a heartbeat. Here, my sister. Here, her number.
And I'll be like,
this the website.
Who sent you?
Key.
No, who's
Miss K?
Right. Like,
Miss K.
Like, who sent you? Where did you come from? But
Miss K.
Like, I had this one girl, and don't laugh, but it was a young lady that hit me, and she's on. She has her OnlyFans page, and she was like, "I just need this on the back of this, and whatever." And I was like, okay, it was just a couple pieces, but I was like, okay. I said, now, I noticed that you got your OnlyFans or whatever. I said, but I need you to be careful because, being out there, people will start to recognize you once you start to really build your clientele and stuff like that. And she was like, yeah, I have so many people to come at me really negatively about my OnlyFans page. I said, let me tell you, I'm old. I said, so what you do is you tell them what I do is no different than when y'all used to go to the peep show and put those quarters in and that screen used to come back. The only difference is you pay me directly. You don't pay the establishment that has the women or the movies. And she looked. I said, oh, yeah, baby, you didn't know that. I said, there's nothing new under the sun. I said, there's nothing new under the sun. I said, back in the day before, the walking computers, there were the brick and mortar establishments that had their private rooms. Yes. Some had movies, Others had people behind the screens, and you would pay so much to watch them, and you would pay a little more if you wanted to give instructions to whatever they were doing. And I told her all that, and I was like, baby, I said, there's nothing new under the sun. So when they come at you, I said, now, honestly, I need you to also keep in mind, once it's out there on the internet, it's forever.
It's forever, honey.
I said, you're young and you don't have children yet. I said, but one day, some of the stuff you're doing may resurface. Yeah.
Thank you, God.
And woo! The Mississippi Valley State University. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Mississippi Valley State University. I will never forget that as long as I live. We did so much shit.
Woo! Almost killing people.
Oh my God.
Woo! Girl, let me drink some water. Look, one of these days I'm going to be bold enough to share a couple things with y'all. One of these days. We've shared some stuff, like what we're, kind of talking about now about, you keeping me from having to kill people and looking all over the tri-county area for people for playing games or whatever. But
look, not all the choices that we made have been bad. Because I can recall being there at Mississippi Valley State University and standing there, and there was this football player. He was from deep South, and he was going off on me. I'm coming from New York and Indiana. I don't even know what he's saying, and I'm like, what? And he was like, literally, he was going off on me. He was very upset, and he was threatening me. And, calling me out my name and everything else, but I didn't understand what he was saying. This one comes out of left field. She's like, oh no, well, we not great.
Did not know her from Adam's house.
Well, we not great, dude. And she laid into him and backed him up.
Now, look, we standing about like this. And she's seated at a table.
Because I didn't know. I'm like, what is he even saying? What's going on?
It doesn't even matter, babe.
It didn't. But she, and that was a choice that you made. That, here we are years later. And
and wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
At all.
It has been one of the biggest blessings of my entire existence. But likewise. Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you that, we've talked about a couple of different topics and things of that nature, and, about what we were going to kind of hit on and stuff like that. But, we was like, you know what, we're just going to get on and we're just going to say, hey, y'all, and
just kind of catch up.
Yeah. But the actress sent by accident, she sent a link to me. It's actually a book. It's called Be Water, My Friend, The Teachings of Bruce Lee.
Oh, wow.
And it was written by Shannon Lee. But it gives a list of lessons in the book. And the first one was, be adaptable and fluid. Like water, we should be able to adapt to any situation and change course when necessary. Now, one of the things Bill always says about me is you're a chameleon.
Yeah.
He was like, you can go from talking to this person and relating to them to somebody having whatever going on. And then it's like a light will just flip. And you can just see the compassion start to come out. Mm-hmm. And he was like, me, I just sit there and I'm like,
what you want?
Right. Number 2 was be strong and powerful. Water can be gentle and soothing, but it can also be incredibly destructive. We should strive to be both strong, and compassionate. 3, be empty and humble. It says water takes the shape of its container and it's never full of itself.
Ooh.
We should be humble and open to learning from others.
Absolutely.
We can all learn from somebody. I don't care if it is someone that has, a disability, someone, because it's so funny. I listen to people when they talk about individuals who are on the autistic spectrum a lot of times.
Mhm.
And I've had to let some people know what you don't understand is most times those individuals who are autistic, say that 10 times fast. They are some of the most intelligent
Absolutely.
people that you would ever want to encounter, but their method of communication tends to sometimes be different from what we are able to sometimes understand or that they can articulate.
Yes.
It does not mean they don't understand.
Yes.
It does not mean that they don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
It
my friend's daughter is a prime example of that.
Right. Somebody that they said would never do this, and this, and she's doing all of it. And steadily just continuing to develop and grow
Absolutely.
and get stronger and look, knock down those walls and ceilings that they said she would never do.
Absolutely.
Which just, it makes me emotional, so I need to move on. It's like number 4 was be ever flowing. Water is constantly moving and changing. We should never stop growing and evolving. Number 5, be mindful and present. Water is always in the present moment. And if you think about it, it's true, because if it doesn't stop because of a barrier, it's going, and that part is going, and it's not going to ever come back again.
No.
Ever.
No.
Not look. It even if it's in like a fountain, because the combination of other water that was going through with it is totally different from that drop. So it says we should focus on the here and now and let go of the past and the future. Be accepting and forgiving. Water flows over obstacles rather than fighting them.
Yeah.
It flows over them. So in other words, the forgiveness part is more for us. And I think me and you both have kind of realized that more and more, that it's the forgiveness part is for us and our well-being. Forgiving does not mean that we have to interact. It does not mean that, any of that. It just means that I have released that unnecessary stress from my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just the way it's going to be. It says, be grateful for all things. Water is essential for life, and it is a gift from the earth.
So I'm going to tell you that I think previous to these past few years when I've had the health issues, so I know we just say health issues, but I had 4 concussions in 2 years. And I had 2 mini strokes. That even though they were saying, that by definition to look it up, it's like, it doesn't have any, really truly lasting effects. My brain was scrambled. My memory is getting better. Lion's mane is a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
My memory is getting better. But also, we found out that I have, what's it called? Atrial? I can't even say AFib because I can't remember all the words. And that is one of those things that it has just been, but I am still here.
And the blessed part of it is it wasn't anything new to you because all of that
I went
was.
through, I knew it from you.
Mhm.
I knew it from you. So even though it was, oh, good Lord, what in the world's going on now?
What medications do they have you on?
Yes, like,
Not
not that
not
one.
that one.
Not that one.
This is the reason why, and blah da 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 da.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it has made all the difference. I think that, but again, learning to just be grateful and to be present. That was one of the ones that was in the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Those have been like major lessons over the past couple of years to just be grateful.
Mm-hmm. Because even when stressful things are going on around us, we can still have peace.
Absolutely.
And we've had to learn how to do that. We've had to learn how to care but not be consumed to the point that we allow it to destroy us physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Yeah. Because them popcorn people.
Yeah.
And then popcorn people. And I was consumed.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in the healthcare and when I was working in popcorn, I was consumed. And in doing so, it truly almost cost me my health.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it did cost me my health. It almost cost me my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do that again.
Right. And see, that goes to number 8. Be true to yourself. Water is always water, no matter what. We should be true to ourselves even when it is difficult. Number 9, live in the moment. What you just said? Be present.
Be present.
Mm-hmm. Water does not dwell on the past or worry about the future. Number 10, let go of attachments. I'm going to just let that marinate for a second.
So this last move, I don't even know where some of this stuff came from. But when we moved this last time, like I found comforter sets of baby girls that went back to her being in middle school. I'm like, why do we still have this? And so all of it has been purging. And then just trying to kind of let go of stuff that. So I was the one who got all the family stuff. You know, got
The
all
family heirlooms.
the family heirlooms and this and the other. And it was, no one else wanted them. And it was, okay, well, and I just became the repository for everything. And even in letting those things go.
Load was lifted.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm.
It absolutely was. Like, it was just like taking a breath of fresh air. Okay, the screen just did something. Okay. Breath of fresh air. To just be able to just let it go.
Yeah, because it says here, water flows freely and does not attach itself to anything. We shall let go of our attachments to people, places, and things.
And I've had to do that. I've had to do that.
Mm-hmm. Me too. It's like number 11, be compassionate and understanding. Water is gentle and forgiving. We should be compassionate and understanding toward others.
So I'm going to say this one. Because now I'm
okay, she crossing her arms, y'all. Uh-oh.
So when you talk about being compassionate and understanding of others, I went out of my way for someone who's been part of my life for years. And when I did something for me, when I had to make moves for my own mental health, when I had to do what was best for me, I was literally called a despicable excuse for a human being. for leaving them in their situation they created. That's their mess. It had shit to do with me. But leaving them in their mess. So I was compassionate. I was understanding. And then I moved on.
And now you have peace.
I sure as hell do, honey.
Mm-hmm. It says, be open to change. We just did that one. Water is constantly changing and evolving.
Yep.
We should be open to change in our own lives. It says, number 13, be persistent and never give up. Water eventually wears away even the hardest rock. We should never give up on our dreams. Number 13, it says, be fearless. Water flows over waterfalls and through rapids without fear. We should face our challenges with courage.
Absolutely.
I have issues with that one. Because I'm always so self-conscious about not disappointing people and always giving my best.
Yeah.
But it's like when, there have been, before, this last year or so, I was so overwhelmed and I stayed overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because I was consuming myself with everything that everybody else was going through. And it was just like, and Gary would tell me a lot of times, just let it go. And I was like, I can't because I care. And he would be like, but you've got to learn how to let it go.
Mm-hmm.
People are going to do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you cannot control what other people do. So don't get yourself sick behind the decisions other people make.
Yeah.
And it was like when, a couple of loved ones were going through a divorce and all I kept thinking about was their children, and it was just like, if I could just take them and just give them to protect them, kind of like what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
But in so doing, I started establishing my own conversations with each one and my own relationships with each one about, and they would share how they felt about certain
Mm-hmm.
things. They got to the point where they would start calling, when they were feeling certain ways
Mm-hmm.
about certain things. So even in that, them realizing that even though mom and dad are going through what they're going through,
Mm-hmm.
I still have a safe place.
Yes, absolutely.
That I'm able to talk about how what they're doing makes me feel without having to feel like I'm wrong for feeling the way I feel or get fussed at for expressing how I feel, because so many people feel that a child, I hate this term, a child needs to stay in a child's place. Now, in some areas, I understand that and I get that, because children should be allowed to be children
Mm-hmm.
and should not be exposed to certain adult-related things too soon. You can't really say that nowadays because everything is everywhere. But the blessed part I will say about growing up when we did was our parents allowed us to be children.
Yes.
And they allowed us to grow up as children.
Yes.
And develop over time. And, that's just something that, I personally can appreciate. But the last item on here was um, be one with the universe. Water is a part of everything. We are connected to each other and to the universe. And it ends, this particular post ends saying Bruce Lee's philosophy of be water is a powerful and inspiring way to live life. By following the lessons above, we can become more adaptable, strong, compassionate, and true to ourselves. We can also learn to live in the moment, let go of attachments, and be open to change. And even though she sent this by accident, I told her, I said, you know what? That it fits. Yeah. I said it fits perfectly with a lot of what me and Key are going to be discussing.
Absolutely.
Because we're talking about life choices. And one of the things that I will say is if people would learn how to just let people be and just let them be who they are and love an individual for being an individual, then a lot of the stressors and the bullhorn of politics that we see and experience on the regular. Now, I love watching the new, I watch it for, the weather and stuff like that. But I used to love watching the news for different things going on around the city and stuff like that. The news got to the point where the only thing that they would cover was this event that happened, that event that happened, this, that, yeah. And it was just like, I just started to, and I felt like, ugh.
That's why I tell you. I'm gonna tell you, I don't watch news.
I unplugged completely from the matrix. I know what time they're gonna talk weather. I know what time they're gonna talk sports. And other than that, I could give a happy ham sandwich.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to the news, if you, Mister, or my mama don't say, did you see, or do you know about, or you might want to listen to, look into, whatever, I ain't turning on news. I ain't turning on the news. I ain't looking for nothing.
Right.
I'm not. And because you become overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's like you get steamrolled. And I'm just like,
it's like what you feed yourself affects your physical.
Yes. Absolutely.
It doesn't just affect your psyche. It affects you physically because you find yourself just burdened down. Like the old people used to sing this song at, burden down, Lord, burden down, since I laid my burdens down. Hell, back then, the things that they dealt with, sharecropping and all that kind of stuff, they had some real burdens. But so they for real did have stuff that they had to lay down.
Yeah.
But nowadays it's like we volunteer to pick up crap.
Well, I think one of the things, so there's a conversation that I was privy to, and we talk about someone says the struggle is real, and someone else was just like, what struggle? I do all of this so you don't have to struggle. But we have to understand that each one of us, especially each generation, we have our own struggles. We have our own burdens. They usually aren't the same as those that came before us, the generation before us.
Right.
But we still have our own. So, that song, even though, it's an old, Negro spiritual, old church hymn, it's still relevant.
Right. And you're talking about the struggle is real. There are people who live in the same home with the same parents, live the same experiences, go to the same events, but if you talk to them about what they just experienced,
Completely
it was
different.
completely different
Yeah.
because we as individuals don't see and experience everything as one.
Mm-hmm.
We may experience it at the same time, but we process different things. Even I have some friends of mine that are twins. I have some that are fraternal, and then I have some that are identical. And even with the identical twins, their experiences at certain functions and stuff would be totally different.
Mhm.
They may feel the vibes of, their siblings. Same thing with the fraternal ones sometimes. But as far as what they took from that experience,
Mm-hmm.
they are
Completely
totally
different.
different.
Yeah.
Because we share the same DNA, we share the same face, but we are still
Two
two
totally
separate
different people.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So it's when we start talking about how the past, will kind of, lead us toward the decisions we make. Like you had certain experiences on your job. I've had certain experiences on certain jobs. We both had certain health experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And those things impact every decision that we make in our lives today, whether
Yeah.
they're consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So
So,
my phone is buzzing me like we have messages, but I'm not real sure where these messages are.
are they coming from YouTube?
Maybe. I don't know. Because it's buzzing, but I don't know.
Well, they're not coming up in the chat.
Okay, well, that's the important part. Y'all know how to reach us when you want to talk to us.
Right. I was about to say, Lord, how does the old song go? Ain't nothing changed. Ain't nothing changed. Nope, they're new. No new actual.
Okay, maybe it was the little emoji things.
That may have been what it
Yeah.
was, and yeah, because there are no new comments.
Yeah, but so yeah, choices and changes. I know someone who, just all kinds of different choices. We've been friends for years, and found out that he has prostate cancer. And years he was in the military. And when he got out of the military, he lived a hard life.
He said, "To hell with all this structure."
He lived, and it wasn't a hard life because he was just struggling all over the place. It was I say hard life. He partied.
That's what I
he
said.
did
It
all
was
kinds of
like, to
stuff.
hell with all this structure.
And then he went and he had to have a kidney transplant about 10 years ago, and now he's looking at prostate cancer. And again, choices. But I think the thing that surprised me is, we get to a point now where we start thinking, we like, okay, we got fewer days in front of us than we do behind us at this point. And so he really sat down and just kind of really reevaluated some of his life choices and things that he was doing, and how he was going to move forward from this and treat it. And it has just been, to talk to him has just been amazing. But when we make our life choices, it's also part of our growth.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes making the hard choices are what allow us to grow and to become better people and to be open to new experiences.
Mm-hmm. When they come under the radar.
And then to just, I'm not talking about, but just.
That smile is priceless when you think about him. I'm sorry, but that smile is priceless whenever you think about him.
Like I said, like you said, under the radar, but it has been an amazing situation.
But I didn't mean to digress.
That's okay. But I was just saying that, it blows my mind how the choices we make over here impact us. And we don't even really think about how that'll impact us in the long run. Mm-hmm. In the future state. We don't think about that.
Our consequences don't go away just because we say we're sorry.
Oof.
Or because
a whole situation we just went through, yeah.
Or because we realize that certain things were not as we really had hoped they would be, or whatever the situation may be, the consequences of those. Case in point, your light bill due. You got money in the bank, but you decide that you're going to go out and buy some tickets to a concert. And then 2 days later, you come home from work.
You ain't got no lights.
And you have no lights. And so you call in and you going off and, no, you had the money to pay that bill.
You know.
And you chose to go out and do whatever you did. So now you got to light you a candle or two until your payday.
Yeah.
Unless you get somebody to cover it for you or whatever the case may be. But it's just one of those things where the choices that we make in the present affect our future.
Absolutely.
And then once our future gets here and then we look back at the past, it's like, did you learn a lesson from that?
So let's also talk about choices that we make now. So I had the opportunity to walk into a business venture.
Mm-hmm.
And the person that we were supposed to walk into this business venture with wanted things a very specific way.
Okay,
that's fine. Those are your choices. Based on those choices, we decided to walk away. So now you don't have the benefit of our expertise, of our connections. You are scrambling and floundering at the current moment because you wanted things done in this particular way. And you said, I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this, I don't want that, rather than listening to someone else's, again, expertise, someone else's reasoning, someone else's perspective. And that's a choice you made. And that choice is about to cost you a whole lot of money. Because I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want this. Okay. We're telling you this is what, coming together, this is what, needs to happen in order, to make this a successful venture. Well, no, I don't want this. I don't like that. I don't want, okay. Well, we're going to step back from that. And when we step back from that, other people also step back from that. And once everybody got to stepping back from it, so now I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it.
Now you're fucked.
Yeah, his nuts is in a sling. And it's just like, tried to help you. Another friend of mine decided not to deal with their mental health issues. They were in a relationship. It ended. The mental health issues started peeking through. Got into another relationship. And those mental health issues kicked that daggum door in. And as a result, something that should have been beautiful and long lasting
Came to an end.
came to a very nasty end because of choices. You knew there were issues, you chose not to deal with them.
And that is the one piece that I wish we as Black people, and I'm just being as specific as I need to be when I say this, we go to, just because there is an issue with your, like say, my heart. Everybody knows I've had open heart surgery. So I go see the cardiologist. If I have issues with my back, I go to the neurologist or the orthopedic, doctor, whichever. But when we have invisible illnesses, and one of the most prevalent invisible illnesses in this country is mental illness.
Yes.
If we were to start, and see, like Annette, she has, her segment that she does, dealing with, the mental health, where she just gives little snips, here and stuff like that. And a lot of times I'll listen to, like, when I watch most of them, when I see them, whenever I see them, I watch them. And there's some days where she'll have one on and I'll be like, oh, thank you, God, I needed that. I needed that reminder. Or I needed that reassurance to say, okay, D, you're not as crazy as you think you are. Or it's okay for you to process this the way you're processing this. Because sometimes, even though it's okay to not be okay, sometimes it's good to have that reminder that it's okay to not be okay. And that if you're not okay, you have an outlet.
Yes.
You have someone, something, you have resources available to address it. But and even I was talking with the guy that I work with, Bill. He says, we were talking about mental illness and mental health. He was like, white people are some of the most mentally ill people. And he's a white man, 62 years old. He was like, white people are some of the most mentally ill people that you'll ever find, but you'll never hear us talking about it. He said, because it's not appropriate to let everybody else know that as a white woman or a white man, you're mentally dealing with challenges. He's like,
that sounds like it just crosses the color lines.
But see,
all barriers.
Yeah, it does. But that's what I told him. And see, he was like, you don't really hear about them saying that a lot of white people are mentally ill until something happens, like they commit suicide or they do a mass shooting or something like that happens. That's when you start hearing about white people being mentally ill. But he said, but as a white man, I hear about Black people being mentally ill or having, disparages, in their communities all the time. He was like, but the difference is my communities, quote unquote, amongst my white peers, we have those resources available that are not always readily available in the communities where Blacks live. Right. He was like, and that's where a lot of the, imbalance comes in. And I told him, I was like, you're exactly right.
Absolutely.
And it's not, and he, and like I said, me and him, we have very candid conversations. And he was like, it's not that white people are more mentally unstable. It was just that we have, most of them have more money to sweep it under the rug.
This is true. Well, I mean, even our own mental health or whatnot, you just.
But think about it. He was, until you start having those mental, you don't really, on the news even, you don't hear about white people having mental issues until actors. Look at the actors. When Will Smith and Chris Rock did that stage slap, because it was just too perfectly orchestrated and pre-written months and years prior. So, whatever on that. But when they went there, it was like, it's because he's dealing with so much and da 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 da. He was caught up. His wife, he's got him caught up in their entanglement and da 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 da. The mental health of the black man. And yes, and it truly isn't. It is something that really needs to be addressed.
Yes,
but it wasn't really major until. But the only time you've heard about a lot of these white actors having mental situations going on, like case in point, Bruce Willis. It's another guy. I can't think of his name right now. But then you got Robin Harris. You don't hear about a lot of that until something detrimental happens, or
Robin
they
Williams,
have to talk about it.
Yep. Heath Ledger.
That's who I was trying
Prime
to think
example,
about.
Heath
That's
Ledger.
who I was trying to. I was like, I could see his face, but I could not. Yeah.
But I'm even so, as you know, I struggled with mental stuff, and I was just like, I don't know what the hell's going on with me. I'm this and that and the third. And my daughter's godmother is a daggone therapist, and I'm like, no, I don't need to talk to anybody. I'm fine. Laid out in the middle of the floor crying. I'm fine. And I finally started talking to a mental health professional. She was like, you have ADHD. Has anyone ever told you that? And I'm like, no. And then sitting down and just kind of talking through a lot of the things that I've been going through and that I've been dealing with. Some of the stuff is lifelong. She was just like,
y'all start peeling that onion back.
You have ADHD. And I'm just like, no, I don't. And then being with someone who does have ADHD, and then also just kind of like learning. And because people are really working on removing the stigma from it, there have been other people who I've been talking to. They're not trying to talk to a professional yet, but they're talking to me, and I'm just like, you should really talk to somebody about that, because you might be surprised. And just because I would have never known. I just felt like I was crazy. I am a little crazy. It's okay though. But we're all a little crazy
Harley
here.
Quinn.
Look, we're all a little crazy here. But it helped.
Mm-hmm.
It helped to just there's a reason behind crazy just because crazy. There's between trauma and other factors. But it's just, and men's mental health, I can't tell you.
Girl, we could write a whole.
We have a whole
encyclopedia, a whole. Books and volumes of encyclopedias that we could write on that.
On men's mental health. We have a whole group that was created for men to talk about their mental health to each other. But I think that group tends to be a prime example
of how reluctant men are to talk.
Yeah, it's a safe space. Like, they're not even, other than me and Dee, there are no women in that group.
And we really don't pay attention to it.
We go in there, we make comments or whatever, and
put encouraging posts.
Yeah, we find some men to take it over. We don't have to be a part of the group at all.
However,
that is a safe space. And there are hundreds of men in that group. It was created so that they would have that safe space, so that they were able to go in and just talk, to each other amongst themselves.
But I will say this: they're like Brian from Black Men's Group.
Black Brian Carr, yeah.
Yeah, he encourages a lot of the guys. There have been a couple of other people who have, put things in, and and I can really say that the stigma of Black men being afraid of opening up because they do get ostracized so much,
and they're told that that's not manly. You're not a man if you talk about you got
well, they're indoctrinated with that bull crap from
the
childhood.
beginning. Yeah,
Stop
suck it
crying.
up. I'm mad. Both of us went. Suck it up. What you crying for? Boys don't cry.
Right.
They better.
Right.
Boys not crying is why they end up being.
And that's unfortunate truth, but
it's like I'm gonna need you to let some of all that out. I'm gonna need you to let some of all of that out, because then the only thing they understand how to deal with is rage and anger and all of the negatives, because those are things that can have a violent.
And that's why a lot of them go into football, because that physical, that physicality, or basketball, that
sports, to get out all that natural aggression,
right. And so it's just, one of those things where I feel we need to just continue to push the narrative that it's okay for you to open up. And see, when we as a culture, and I'm speaking Black people now, Black and brown, if we were to, as a culture, start realizing we are rearing not girls and boys, but growing adults.
Mm-hmm.
We are teaching them and showing them how to deal with conflict with the way that they watch us deal with conflict.
Absolutely.
It's amazing how we tend to pull certain characteristics from the relationships of our parents and those that are around us, and say, okay, well, I'm not gonna be like this, and this, or I'm not gonna do this, and this. And and I always tell people, be careful what you say you will and won't do in a relationship, but realize when you're building your relationship, don't settle for crap that you don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because, okay, we're at the beginning of the relationship, whatever, it's no big deal. But those little things that you let pass in the beginning become the bane of your existence in your relationship down the road.
Yeah.
And then when you finally get to a breaking point with it, well, I've been doing this from the beginning. Why are you just now saying something?
You was fine with it before.
No, I really wasn't. I just didn't say anything.
I was doing this when we met.
Right. And then same thing with, just like I said, just dealing with issues, from the beginning, learning how to effectively communicate with each other from the beginning. Because what?
Tell you what Mr. says about communication.
What?
Communication ain't what you thought you said.
It's what they heard.
It's what they thought they heard. And I think if people take the time to stop and really process that.
Well, see, that's why I always, the one thing that me and G do now that we did not do in the beginning of our relationship is when we talk to each other about those things that are important, we repeat back to the person, okay, let me make sure I'm understanding what you said. Because this is what I'm hearing and this is what I'm processing, but I need to make sure this is what you mean.
Make sure
This is what you're actually saying.
Mm-hmm.
That what I did or what I do or what I said or whatever the case may be made you think or feel. Let me make sure I have a clear understanding.
Yes, that part.
Because when you have that clear understanding, there's no room for error. Because then it's like, okay, gotcha. And if you have those conversations and people aren't willing to work on those areas that bother you, then you know he or she is just not it.
Mm.
Because the person that truly cares for you will work on those things that they know really bother you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they may not be able to get rid of all of the stuff because we're all individuals, we're all human or whatever, but at least put forth an effort.
Yes.
And like case in point, today we're talking choices. Today, an individual that meant a whole lot to me was eulogized, funeralized. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. No. His body was opened up to the public today. His funeral is actually tomorrow morning. And, it's been a lot of processing going on with me. There's a lot of debating on, going up and stuff like that. And it was just like, I talked to my husband about it and he was like, if you want to go, we'll go. I was like, no, one reason I didn't want to go was because of what that person meant to me on a personal level. And I explained to my husband, I said, now this person passed away, but this is what they were to me on a personal level.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way I would ever, even though there's been no type of communication or whatever between the two of us on a personal note like that, for years and years and years, I said, there's no way that I would jeopardize what we had. And he was like, girl, nobody worried about that. I'm very secure with what we have. That's not the point. It's just the respect factor.
Yeah.
Of I will not go to say goodbye to somebody who meant that much to me and have my husband there with me, because it's like you never know what that will open up.
Choices.
And sometimes it's best to allow those things that have come to an end and those books that have been closed to remain closed.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you trigger things that you don't realize you're triggering by just simply going around an individual or a group of individuals, and things of that nature. So it's just like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I've got, everything I want, everything I need right here.
Mm-hmm.
And if me and that person were meant to still be in communication with each other or in each other's lives on that level, you wouldn't be here.
Absolutely.
So, and so it's just, and it, my heart hurt for a while that things went the way they went when, we realized this person was deceased.
Yeah.
But I realized that my heart didn't really hurt for me as much as it hurt for his family.
Mm-hmm.
And that was because it just made it all the more real. How would I feel if I'm looking for my brother?
Mm-hmm.
How would I feel to know that, okay, my brother's a family man.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden he's just MIA.
Yeah.
And then to discover that he's transitioned and none of us were with him when that happened.
None of us knew.
Right. So, it just, that's the piece of, and it kind of goes back to, like, we're talking about life choices. He had health issues,
Mm-hmm.
And it makes my mind run, okay, were you, how did you, what are the different pieces of the puzzle that led to you not getting the medical help that you needed? Were you just in a position where you were unable, or was it a situation where, thank God it was natural causes, but was it a situation where you just were, just, did you suffer? Did you not?
Mm-hmm.
Did you, you have all of these questions. And those are things that I was explaining to my husband that, those are not questions that, one, I even need the answers to, because he was no longer a part of my personal life. So those are personal questions for those that are closest to him.
Yeah. But that's not for you.
That's not for me. And so if you go and you're around, those topics are going to come up. Those conversations are going to be taking place. And I'd rather just keep things as they were and remember the craziness and the fun and, the good times, and the fact that we remain friends, but we remain friends that respected the fact that we moved on in our lives.
Absolutely.
So,
Because I've had a couple folks to come out the woodwork since
Mr.
And even one recently who was just like, you need to be with me. And I'm like, I need to be exactly where I am. I don't know where you came from. I don't know about I need to be with you, but let me help you on this. I'm going to block you on Facebook. I'm going to block you on IG. I'm going to block you on my other Facebook. I'm going to block you on both my IG pages. Don't play with me.
How about
choices? So
you want to hear something crazy? Go ahead.
Because that that I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm thriving. This and that and the other. And you made a choice.
Live with it.
But you want me to choose you. Now, so here's my choice. Block.
And be happy and at peace. Want to hear something crazy?
What's
we were talking pre-social media crazy.
Yes.
How about I commented on a post from a friend down in Mississippi, and a pre-social media mistake saw my comment and hit my inbox. Just very respectful. Hey, how you doing? Blah blah blah. I'm doing good. How are you? Now my name has my full name, Demetria Brand Triplett. It's like, how have you been? Da, 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 all doing well. How are you? Do you have a family? Are you married? Blah blah blah. We just exchange pleasantries or whatever. It's like, so are you still in Mississippi? I was like, no. I'm in Indianapolis. Oh, that's what's up. Just innocent conversation.
Yeah.
When are you coming back to, this way? Don't know, but, you never know. Just may decide to make moves and come visit family, friends. Just general innocent conversation. Well, when you come down, let me know and holler at me. For what? And what did I do? Block,
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 block, block, block,
block. So it's a trip how that was over. That was, oh God, that was over 30. That was 33 years, about 33. Ooh, that was 33 years, 32, 33 years ago worth of mistake. I guess I left a lasting impression.
Honey, I got a call from not a call, but a message from Texas.
Oh.
Block, 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 block.
Right. Quick, fast.
Yeah.
So it's
choices.
Choices.
My choice is block, 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 block.
Right.
Go away, Satan.
That part. What's
Go
that
away,
movie? What's that
Satan.
movie? God Almighty! If G was up here or down, if we were downstairs, I'd be like, cause like, how dost thou tempt this to me, Satan? What movie? I cannot think of that movie, but you know where I'm talking about. It's like, dost thou tempt this to me, Satan? And it's like, honey, but
I've seen G do that.
Right.
It'd be like, no.
Dost thou tempt this to me? But it's just like, and I told my niece, because I'm very proud of her. She's, first year of college.
Yay.
I've told her, I said, baby, the choices you make right now will last you a lifetime. Now, this is before that clown that was the pre-social media mistake hit me up. But I told her, even then, I said, they're going to be, if you make certain choices now, you never know when you're going to encounter those choices again in life and how they will affect you. How they can impact I said, because some of them may be in positions professionally. Yeah. Some may just know other people that you deal with on a professional level. And just, and I was like, so you must be very, very careful.
Very careful.
To not make a lot of the same mistakes that your auntie made. Because your auntie made a lot of mistakes that were pre-social media. And I keep saying that. I thank God for that every day. Because, yeah.
There are certain areas in Mississippi I don't think I can ever go back to.
Right. Not really without a mask and a trench coat and a mustache and a top hat. That's what it was.
Crazy deal.
Girl, we would have to have hats, trench coats, mustaches, and everything on. Be like, well, yeah, we good.
Don't we know y'all look familiar? No,
we good. We good. But it's so. We laugh, we joke, we caught everybody up on a lot of stuff. But, but it just goes to show that the choice, like a choice that I wish that I could change was when my dad had his stroke. Both he and my mother both were adamant that I remain in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I was making really darn good money. Yeah. I was, well established, with the place I was working, and I was, I had a nice condo on the 9-hole of the golf course. That was a girl. Woo, I was up in Alpharetta. I was doing very, very well. But part of me still regrets not coming home to care for my father. And they had all the help in the world.
Yeah.
But from a personal perspective, because like I said, I was ready to just call it. But they were like, no,
Stay where you are.
Stay where you are. Establish your life. And, I was obedient, but I wish I had followed my heart in that area.
Yeah.
Because I have moments of regret at this point.
Yeah.
And that was years and years and years and years ago. And my dad died in 99. So,
Yeah.
It's just one of those deals where I wish I had followed my first mind and did that.
Yeah.
Same thing. I know you had a hard choice because you were making some life choices, and and then you thought about your parents.
Yeah.
And you was like, I know you'll be there, but and then some things in life happened that kind of said, no, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah.
And because of that choice,
Yes. That I have a perpetual smile on my face, even when I'm cross-eyed and growling.
mm-hmm.
I'll think, and then I'll just smile.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes I really do be cross-eyed and growling.
Girl, don't we both? But that's just, it just goes to show, even just minor choices that at the time are what we're doing because that is what's necessary at that moment. It impacts us forever.
It does. Absolutely, it does.
But girl, we have chopped it up. We have enjoyed, chatting with, each other or whatever, and sharing a lot of things with people, on the first round back. But
just catching up.
Yeah, but next week we
will jump back in,
and it's gonna be hard and heavy. Yeah, we're gonna probably be hard and heavy next week. But we want to say, look, y'all already know everybody and their grandmother wearing pink. I'm wearing pink and I'm wearing blue.
Yeah.
It's like pink is for women.
Just
men get blue.
Breast cancer awareness is not just about women.
Right. Men get breast cancer too. So
yes.
My mother she survived and thrived with breast cancer. And even after it metastasized to other parts of her body. So it's just one of those situations where, that's very near and dear to my heart. And, even infant mortality, infant, stillbirths, and, childlessness and things of that nature. That is this month as well. Domestic violence is this month.
Yes.
There's so many different awareness observations that go on in the month of October.
Right.
So we'll probably reshare a post from a while back. I think I still have it saved where we ran down a whole list of the days and the ribbons.
Yeah, now all the ribbons and what they mean and what they stood for. And
hey, Bender, how are you? How are you, sir? How are things going for you? It's good that you were able to pop in on us just for a hot second, because you popped in right when we're getting ready to pop out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You popped in right when we were getting ready to pop out. So it's good to see you, sir. And but next week, like I said, we're gonna hit it a little hard and heavy. We're gonna hit some pretty good topics, because we've got to just figure out which one.
Right, we've been stockpiling them for a year and a half. We've been stockpiling.
Right, and it's going to be a matter of finding the right guest to fit the right topic.
Yes,
and when we do He said, I'll catch you all next week for sure. Well, we look forward to it. We look forward to it. Oh, somebody calling me.
It wasn't me.
I don't know the number, so guess what? They don't matter. If your number's not in my phone, you don't matter. Ups, did I say that out loud?
You're not supposed to. But yeah, you did.
Yeah, so maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Because
it
could be, something you need to tend to. So don't say that.
Well, they'll leave a message.
Yes.
They'll have to leave a message. Because that's the only way that they're gonna get a response. But anyway, we love you guys. We appreciate you guys for jumping in and sharing with us. Look, don't think it's over for us, because after this is over, it's back to work I go. So, not the building.
Okay, I was about to say, you better not go back up there.
Oh, girl, no. I'm gonna look, you see the laptop?
I know. I need to get up on mine.
So I'm gonna do a little bit of stuff that needs to be done, and you know what?
Not tonight.
No, I'm not.
Not
I'm gonna go snuggle up. That's gonna be my choice for tonight. I'm gonna go snuggle up with my sugar poo. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's my life choice for tonight.
It's an amazing choice.
Dost thou temptest me, Satan? I'm sorry, y'all. It's like I got it in my head now. Thank you, Bender. We appreciate that.
Thank you. Yeah, but that's a G thing.
Look, be like, dost thou temptest?
Oh, wait a minute!
Oops. Forgot we're a family show sometimes.
Good night, y'all.
Look, you hear me? Sometimes I didn't actually rub though.
No. Good night, y'all.
We're back. Love you all. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Take care, everybody.
See you later.
See y'all later.